Billy, obviously there are no moral victories in the NBA, but given how shorthanded you were and it's a one possession game in the final minute, what do you think of your guys' performance tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I great respect for our guys' competitiveness. Look at the film and clean up maybe some areas that we could have done a better job on. But I think the spirit of the fight, the way they helped each other. We obviously had some really tough matchups with Giannis just because of his size and length and as great of a player as he is. And I thought we did a really good job of everybody helping. It was really one of those nights. It's unfortunate for the way we played defense tonight. That we couldn't shoot the ball a little better. I thought that really, and that happens sometimes, but you know what? Like, I think the score was 45-44 at the half. We're down by 1. That's a game where you have that kind of shooting night and it's worked the way we did. Now, they without question missed shots too. So they missed a lot of shots as well. Both teams shot the ball poorly from 3. But if we didn't defend like that in the first half, maybe it's a 20 or 25 point game and then you're just out of it. And I'm hopeful that this could be a good lesson for our guys in terms of developing that kind of identity. And I think it's been 2 games in a row right now, coming off a period where I think our defense had really dipped. I think the last 2 games against Cleveland and here against Milwaukee, we really have battled and scrapped and undersized, and we've rebounded and we've held our own. And that's the disposition we're going to have, going forward until we get whole.
And nobody stops Giannis, and you mentioned the help that you guys had, but what did you think about the job Tyler Cook did? He drew the 2 charges and really tried to play.
Tyler, I give him a lot of credit. He's come off that ankle injury. Not a lot of practice time. We kind of throw him out there, on Giannis, and he gave us everything he could, defensively, and I give him a lot of credit. It's the first time he and Vooch have really played significant minutes together. I was a little bit worried about how it would go offensively. I did think we had got stagnant at some times, but overall, I think Tyler's effort and him and Vooch working together was a positive.
What was your angle on the Grayson Allen foul? What did you think of the
Yeah, it was really bad. It was really, really bad. And, I'll just say this, we lost Patrick, on a flagrant foul to, a pretty significant injury. And I said this after the game, I think it was against New York and Mitchell Robinson. I think Mitchell Robinson was trying to make a legitimate play on the basketball. It happened to be a flagrant. There's times there's flagrant fouls, but, for Alex to be in the air like that, for him to take him down like that, you could have ended his career. And he has a history of this. And that to me was really dangerous. And I really hope the league takes a hard look at something like that, because they could have really, really seriously hurt him. I mean, he's dealing with his wrist right now. I don't know what the extent his wrist is, but just being there, it's really, really dangerous to go after somebody like that. And I personally thought it was, it was just, it wasn't good, just was not good. And for it to even be extended to a flagrant 2 and be thrown out of the game, clearly the officials must have felt like there was some intent there, the way he yanked him and snapped him to the floor and his head bounced off the floor. So really, really, really dangerous play.
I know it's the heat of the moment. It's an intense game, but you and Bud have a lot of respect for each other. Did you have a chance to talk to Bud about the play or anything?
No, I mean, I have a lot of respect for Bud. Bud and I've, talked over the years. I have a lot of respect for him. These guys are all professional athletes. There's nothing towards Bud at all on something like that. I just think to do that to a player is just really, really, I mean, you could have really, really, really jeopardized his career in a lot of ways. And, I don't know what his response will be to it. Maybe, he didn't mean to do that. I don't know. I just know the play looked really, really bad, on a guy that's got a history of doing that, all the way back into college. So, I hope the league takes a hard look at something like that, because, God forbid this guy was in a stretcher going out of the building right now. That would not be good. And now, listen, I know there's a physical game and there's plays at the basket. There's a lot of contact and things like that. There's a right way you can go up and have physicality and do that, but not that way, in my opinion.
I'm just curious what you thought about your Kobe and Io. Both had a shot from the floor.
Yeah, I think Alex, I think Kobe, and I think, those 3 guys, they didn't have a great shooting night. I knew Kobe had some good looks that he normally makes that was hopefully he had been on such a tear, I think, offensively, shooting the basketball. But you have a night like that sometimes. And, I just wanted those guys to compete and stay in the game. And I think Alex and I and Kobe all did that, even though they didn't shoot the ball great. And, Yeah, I don't know how much Alex's wrist was impacting his shooting or not. He, we actually thought about sitting him out, and he said he could play, so we put him back in there. But I just appreciated that those guys kept their heads in the game defensively, even though they didn't have a great shooting night. We need them to do that. We need them to play, and I thought all three of those guys in the backcourt really did a great job of that.
Billy, regardless of the circumstances, how short-handed you are, and you talked about the guys needing to learn how to play in games like this. Is this a step in the right direction?
Yeah, no, I think it's been 2 games in a row. Obviously they're defending world champions, and they obviously know how to win, know what it takes to win at that level. I think that for us to build out a style defensively about the way we got to play, because I know it was maybe, I don't know how many games ago it is now, but we had talked about defensively that we need to get better, and that we can, and we got the ability to. And I give our guys a lot of credit for putting in the work to be able to do that. And it's been 2 games in a row, where I think our defense has been good, and we got to keep moving in that direction, because maybe several games ago, if we were playing defense like we were back then, it's a game you don't have a chance to win because of the way you shot the ball tonight. So, I just appreciate, respect the competitiveness of the group. The way we went out and attacked it. And I thought that, to me, this is how you build some perseverance, where it's not going well offensively. It's a struggle. They're a really good defensive team, a top 10 defensive team. We got some looks. We didn't knock down some shots. It was a tough, but we kept grinding on the other end of the floor. And I think that's what you have to be able to do. If you want to play late in the season, you want to play after the regular season. That's what these games become about. And you got to be able to find a way to do that.
It looked like you kind of coached that way too. Last rotation left those guys in there in the fourth quarter. Did I see that right?
I'm sorry.
You left your main guys in there in the last 9 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I put those guys. I wanted to give Alex a little bit of a break, because I know his stints as he gets his legs back under. We're going to probably be right now. They're right around 4 or 5 minute stints. 6 maybe a little bit too long. I probably maybe went with him a little bit too long. We got some minutes from him in the first half. I thought the way the first half was going, I didn't want to use a lot of his minutes because I knew he was going to be on a restriction. And I think I said before the game, maybe 22 to 25. I think he was right around 23, 24. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to go with those guys there at the end, and I wanted to put some shooting on the floor because I felt like with the way they were attacking DeMar, and the way they were aggressively playing him, that maybe Vooch or Kobe or I or Alex, someone could bang home one. And Vooch, I thought, made a really, really big 3 to kind of get us a little bit closer. And we had some opportunities. We weren't able to knock them down, and that happens. But overall, I felt good with the way those guys would play. I thought we needed some shooting and spacing on the floor offensively.
Billy, we're going to take one more from Zoom before we bring DeMar up. Sam Smith, go ahead.
Just wondering, did you try to play to level the playing field with the guys out intentionally, slower, to try to keep the game, a slower game?
Yeah, Sam, not really. The thing I thought hurt us a little bit in the first half to that point, I think they missed 28 shots in the first half. We had 0 fast break points. I think the game, I've always said this, when you play against good defensive teams, possessions become longer because you have to work harder to generate good shots. So a lot of times you have to go deeper into the clock. And generally the highest percentage shot in an NBA game is within the first 7 seconds. I didn't think that we didn't fast break as well as I thought we could have, and maybe taken advantage of some opportunities like I thought we could have. But I think their defense forces you to play to the second side, some into the third side. You got to move the ball. We got up against the clock a few times, but certainly wasn't our intention going into the game of, hey, let's really try to slow the game down. That certainly was not the intention. I think it happens when you go against good teams and good defensive teams.